friends, welcome back to A Good Life Farm. So I've got some biscuits going in the oven and I'm cooking up some turkey sausage here. I am making biscuits and gravy for dinner. This is one of my favorite easy recipes. I've talked before about how we will generally have breakfast foods for dinner. When I write it down on my menu, I just write B for D. B for D, and we know what that means. It's funny because we have breakfast food for dinner way more than we ever actually have it for breakfast. But I thought this would be the perfect thing to have tonight. I'm using a different kind of turkey sausage. This one is actually Butterball. I have never used it before. So we'll see how this is. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of seasoning to it, so I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more. It smells a little bland. We'll see. But it has been a really busy day today. You know, I mentioned how when I was taking a year off of gardening, I was going to have all sorts of projects to do. I had this huge list of things that I wanted to do for the house since I wasn't going to be working out in the garden. And unbeknownst to me at the time, I was going to have my first grandbaby that I was caring for. And so that has taken up a lot of my time. You know, it's a trade-off. Can't help but love spending time with a grandbaby. But it does mean that I did not get all of the projects done that I wanted to get done. So we have been working like crazy to get them finished before life gets crazy once again. So today I was actually doing a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of concrete maintenance actually. When you have sidewalks or driveways that are concrete, it never fails. At some point you're going to find like a little hairline crack, and you want to deal with it when you see it so that it doesn't get worse. Especially you want to deal with it before winter comes, because if water gets down in there and then freezes, that little hairline crack is going to be not a little hairline crack anymore. It could actually cause your concrete to just straight up break. So I was working on fixing that today, and let's see, then I went into the spare room, and you know, we've been planning to replace the flooring in there for quite a while. We just never got around to it. Well, we're getting around to it. And so I had cleaned out that room. I replaced the ceiling fan in there because that actually didn't work when we moved in. We just didn't really use that room because it was the spare room. And so we replaced the ceiling fan in there, and a while back we had pulled up all the carpeting. So today we went in there and we removed the last of the tack board or tack strips that were in the closet, and then we cleaned and primered the floor to prep it to take the flooring that we're going to be putting down. I am putting down a vinyl plank flooring. It looks like wood, and I think that it will be just perfect. That room is going to be an office, and so, you know, that kind of wood plank look I think is universal, and you know, vinyl plank is very easy to put down as long as you go through the right steps and, you know, prep the floor and all of that. So that is what we were doing today, and so that is drying, and then on Friday I think we will be getting started putting that flooring down. I think it's going to look really good when it's finished. And then after we did that, we replaced the final two posts that are out here. Our back porch had wood posts that when we moved in, they didn't look great 6.5 years ago. And they were just kind of getting to the point where every time we had a really big storm come through, I was afraid something was going to happen. And so we replaced those, and now they've got nice, solid, not budging a millimeter solid wood posts out there. They've been replaced, so now I just got to paint those so that they are back to matching what it was when we moved in. So yeah, it's been a really busy day today, so I am really looking forward to some sausage and gravy biscuits. So over the weekend, I went on my last trip of 2022. I went down to Florida, and I actually have not been to Florida since I was a kid, since middle school. Actually, that was the only time I've ever been to Florida, was my trip when I was a kid in middle school. We did the whole classic, you know, Florida vacation. We went to Disney World and Sea World and Epcot and all that stuff. We went to a gator farm with jumping gators or flying gators. I forget what it was called. But this time I was going down for the Gulf Coast Homesteader Meetup. And what a great time it was. This was the second year that they've had it, and they're already planning next year's. And you know, I love the Homesteaders of America conference. You know, they're huge events, tons of people, but there's something to be said about these regional events. So it was really nice to be able to take your time and talk to people and get to see some other people who maybe couldn't make the Virginia conference. And you know, once again, I had a blast. But before I even got to the conference, something funny happened. So I was headed to Florida. My friend Julie from Rowan Cove Farm was headed to Florida, and our friend Anna was, actually she was already in Florida when we were on our way down. But we all kind of talk with Marco Polo while we go about our days. There's barely a day that goes by that we're not all having a group conversation with Tangi from Freedom Homestead. And just like typical, you know, we had our phones set up so we could talk to each other while we were driving, check in on each other, make sure everybody was doing okay, and all of that. And Julie had said that she had no more stops before she arrived in Florida at the Airbnb where her and I were going to be meeting. Well, all of a sudden she jumped in on Marco Polo. She's like, I take it back. I just saw this adorable little place. I've got to stop. So as she said that, I had just turned the corner onto another highway, and right there was this really cute farm market. And as Julie was saying the name of the place that she was stopping, I'm looking at the silo and I'm reading the exact same name. And I went, what? And I looked, and there was Julie's truck as she was pulling in. So I was just looking at this market as I heard Julie saying, I've got to stop. This is so cute. And I literally pulled in right behind her. She has no idea I'm here. Excuse me, ma'am. You just roll upon us as your Marco Polo was playing, and I'm like, and you're like, I just saw this cutest thing. As I'm seeing that truck, I'm like, that is so cute. And you said the name of it, and I saw the sign. I'm like, no way. And there was your truck. Let's go. We're gonna go check this market out. Alright, so we have arrived in Milton, Florida. This is the town where the Gulf Coast Homesteaders Meetup is taking place, and we are going to visit this little antique store right here. Isn't that adorable?
It is. What is the name of this place?
Blackwater Antiques or something like that.
All right, we're gonna go check it out.
The first night we were there, we met up with Anna and we headed off to the beach. No.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to go to my body.
Yeah. But the conference was great. We went out to eat every night while we were there. The first 2 nights we actually went out to the same restaurant. It was a seafood restaurant right on the beach. Matter of fact, we ate with our feet in the sand. The first night it was just Anna and Julie and I, and the second night we joined with the Stivers from Stivers Homestead. And it was really neat because while we were sitting there, there was a dolphin out there in the water that just kept kind of coming up and going down and coming up and going down. That was really neat. Today is day 2 of the Gulf Coast Homestead Meetup, and it's kind of just getting started. It's still early. It's a little cool today, which makes me very happy because I was dying yesterday. And yeah, so I was able to break out the hoodie, got my coffee, which makes me happy. And then we've got some people over here having a dance party already this morning. on the last night, all of the speakers and all of those who participated with the event were invited to go out to a big after-party dinner at a local restaurant. And Julian, Anna, and I were invited to come along. And so it was really nice to get to talk to a few more people that we had not had a chance to over the course of the event, and got to meet a few people that I had not met before, so it was really neat. Oh, and the Airbnb that Julie and I stayed at was one of the cutest Airbnbs I have ever seen. It was a small little kind of two-story cabin on a horse farm. And not only were there horses, but there was a mini donkey just like Sophie, only this one was a little boy. So that was my trip to Florida. If you live anywhere near the southeastern part of the United States and you would like to go to a homesteader conference that's only minutes from the beach, I think you would really enjoy this, and you should check it out for next year. So that is it for today. Thanks for joining me here at the homestead. I'm going to finish up making dinner, and I'll talk to y'all next time.